How you doing? Just so you know, I am not in agreement to any of those statements right there. Don't get me wrong. You can certainly play without exports. And exports could be the cause of traffic problems. But have a look. These are my industrial areas. Right? That in particular, is my goods and manufacturing. From there, we supply the whole city with goods because I don't import goods. I do export though, almost 10,000. And again, everywhere from my city, not just one area, all over the place. Yeah, close to 10,000 pieces. And this is the traffic I have. 83%. Now, it could be better, of course. Now, again, I'm not disputing that you could play this way. Play without exports. I've heard there's no advantage to having exports. You don't get money for it. Well, you don't get money for your imports. You don't get money for your offices. You don't get money for anything like that. But what it does do, check out the traffic here. Look at all the exports trucks that are clogging the roads. Check it out. The only thing that exports do is, well, allows you to practice with traffic, if nothing else. Learn to manage traffic, get them to where you want, get them to go where you want them to go. Look at all this traffic. Look at all that export traffic just causing high traffic. So I guess you gotta ask, well, if it's not there, and I got 10,000 pieces being exported, where is the traffic? The traffic is out here. And the export, well, I guess this is the connection between your off-map connections. I personally call it my import-export center. Now, this is grandiose. I mean, this is build after build after build after build. All those vehicles are not on the roads. They're there instead. So the statement, you should have little exports at all, or if any at all, that it causes traffic. That's not true. If you do nothing about it, sure, anything causes traffic. I mean, the cars will cause traffic unless you start putting mass transit in. Or pay attention to the traffic. Don't let it get so long. Most problems happen at the intersections. So watch the intersections, learn from the intersections, because not all of them are, none of them are the same. Well, they all look the same, but they're handling different areas of traffic different ways. Well, like this, for example. See this? I got the outer road. I've got what? How many intersections there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe? And they deliver to these two terminals so that they don't have to go out to the highway. Originally there was one, but between the two lobes, there was just so much traffic going to the one terminal that I needed to put a second. Because I knew I was exporting, but at the time I thought one could do the job, and well, not usually. Not unless you want to get creative and make these big windy roads that need to get back. You end up with 200 cars trying to go back to a station. But it's control. You got to put some control into your city. Haven't noticed all my local roads are green because the only traffic that really goes on those local roads are any traffic that is going specifically to that asset. The only busy road is the ring road, right? Or the collection road, because that's where you want the traffic. Does that make sense? Everything wants to go out to the collector roads, and then the collector roads go out to the main road, and here they go out to the cargo terminal and then back. And that's how I export. Even here. That road that crosses through, that's that is a main road and a collector road on that particular group of asset there. But here, see that little one? That's definitely a collector road leading into a main road. Right? I always thought when you looked at highways or roadways, I mean, in Canada, actually in North America, we call them arteries. Why do they call them arteries? Because they should work like the veins in a leaf or in the veins in our system. Right? Some are thicker for a purpose. Some are thinner for another purpose. They're not all the same size. And I bet you that's to control traffic or to regulate traffic. We know it is. See? See how it came out of that cargo terminal? How the traffic came out? Okay, here I think from here on, I do a knee-jerk reaction. For this road here is the very first road I created in the game. So when I'm usually trying to think of something to do, I run down the traffic on this road. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause that here and get that starting to go a little bit faster to the other end. Actually, no. I want you to notice that I'm using different type of road pieces. Now I am using network extensions, so I have one ways in 6-lane, 4-lane, 3-lane, and then the vanilla 2. Each intersection has its own requirements. And I know that's far too general. Let me put it this way. If you have a backup, like the single lane backup, and it's in the left-hand lane, well, go right to the front of it. Go to the car that's stopped at that intersection and check out what does it say on the lane. Is it a left-hand turn and a straight-through arrow? If it is, you got to ask yourself, how much of that traffic in that lane wants to go straight through the intersection, and it can't because the opposing traffic is stopping that car from making a left-hand turn. See this exit? See how it exits the highway in one lane and then bursts into 3, goes to 2 to 3. And they all separated, didn't you? Saw that? But yeah, here you kind of notice these are not your stereotypical intersections. I had a problem with left-hand turns going into the stadium property where I had to literally separate the intersections and have the left turners do their left turn further up so that this could operate this smoothly. It takes looking, it takes being creative in a greater sense. This interchange handles a population of 15,000. Everybody left of this highway, except for the industry interchanges, that was their exit. And it's, I think the population, the residential population is up to 15,000 in there now. But back to that story that I was saying. So you got that intersection, and you got left-hand turners and straight through stuck in that one lane. So you find a piece, and I say find a piece because you shouldn't be using mods. Learn this kind of stuff. But find the road combination that gives you a separate left-hand lane from everything else. And make that 20 pieces long. Make it enough so that all that traffic, or you'll start to see the traffic starting to move through that intersection. You do something like that just once. You do that once and you start to see what you can do to affect traffic. The other one is the walkways, the pathways, getting them to walk around. But the question was pretty much with industry and the situation or the topic I'm dealing with was exporting. And it's not about exporting or not exporting. It's all about governing traffic. And you're not really governing traffic, you're noticing where they're going and you're making what they need better so that they can move through your city better. What makes a great city? The people, the transportation infrastructure, doesn't it? I mean, if you went to a city and you couldn't get to where you were going, like it took you forever to get to your hotel, well, this kind of sounds like New York, doesn't it? Okay, I take that back. Oh yeah, here I'm going to get into another little point. I've told people before, I've mentioned before that this city was an experiment. All the things they say you shouldn't do, like put your intersections close together, like this, I did. And that's a collection road, isn't it? Then I wanted to see how tight I could make these intersections together. So here I did two mistakes you shouldn't do. I made all these intersections close together and long strips in between them. Now it is a collector road, and if it was a main road, like if this was all these collectors connecting to a main, then no, they wouldn't work. I even got industry hooked up to this collector road, and yet I've got no trucks going through that street. It's all about organizing your traffic, knowing where they want to go and make the route for them. They used to go through here, and they used to go through here quite extensively. But by fixing a route for them to get to where they wanted to go, giving them a better, faster route, they stopped coming through this industrial or residential area. Maybe one day I'll have a need for policies, and maybe one day as the population grows, I'll have a need to get rid of exporting in lieu of offices, so therefore kind of reclaim the land sort of thing. But right now, I don't see a reason not to use exporting. It's kind of fun. I mean, if I didn't export, I wouldn't have created that export facility. If it wasn't for the exporting, I wouldn't have learned how to handle the transport traffic. I wouldn't have learned that when I have industrial parks, it's better to use gentle curves than 90 degrees because the trucks end up moving faster. They don't have to slow down as much for the tighter turns. Same with trains. I learned the same thing about trains, using gentle curves over sharp turns so that they don't lose speed when they go around them. Yeah. Don't let construction ever stop you from managing traffic. Don't inhibit your exports just so you don't need to deal with the traffic with it. This is City Skylines. You build what you want. You just got to be able to figure out what that is and how to make it work. It's up to you. Have a good day.